Dear students, आज की क्लास में we'll be talking about another electrophilic substitution reaction in the benzene, that is our sulfonation. ठीक है, so we'll look at the sulfonation. Last class में हमने nitration को discuss किया था, so today we'll discuss the sulfonation. We will start. So sulfonation में basically क्या होता है, we convert this benzene, you can see this is our benzene, simplest aromatic compound. So this has been converted to this benzene sulfonic acid. So that means what we have done, we have converted one of the positions, one of the hydrogen atoms into SO3H. So this is called as sulfonation. In case of nitration, we converted that benzene into benzene with an NO2 group. ठीक है, now ये हम कैसे करते हैं? We do this by treating benzene with very important fuming sulfuric acid or oleum. Fuming sulfuric acid and oleum क्या होता है? It is basically combination of sulfuric acid plus SO3. Now that's called oleum. आप इसे ऐसे भी लिख सकते हैं, you can see it H2. So then it becomes S2 and you have oxygen 7. So that's also called as the oleum. So this is used for carrying the sulfonation of benzene. So converting benzene into benzene sulfonic acid, we require sulfuric acid plus SO3 at a temperature of 325 Kelvin. ठीक है, that's simple as your sulfonation. Now important ये है, as this is the electrophilic substitution reaction, so we are always interested in knowing the electrophile. The electrophile in this case is SO3. जब हम इसका mechanism study करेंगे, then we'll understand electrophile is SO3. So the first step is, how is the electrophile generated? फिर हमने नाइट्रेशन में देखा how was the electrophile NO2 वहां पे कैसे जनरेट हुआ था, और यहाँ पे electrophile is SO3. ठीक है, अब देखिए यहाँ पे कैसे जनरेट होता है. Sulfur trioxide is the electrophile. It is generated by the acid base equilibrium between the two sulfuric acid molecules. So those sulfuric acid molecules, one acts as acid, other acts as base. In between them they generate this electrophile. देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे in the mechanism, this is one sulfuric acid molecule, this is another. So this sulfuric acid molecule, it takes proton from this hydrogen, because this oxygen hydrogen bond, we know it's highly polarized because of high electronegativity of oxygen. So this bond is more towards oxygen. ठीक है, ये जो दो electrons they are towards oxygen, so that means they can release this H plus easily. So from one of the OH of one of the sulfuric acid molecule, hydrogen is taken by this sulfuric acid, so this gets plus charge and OH2, so this gets negative charge. Now यहाँ पे as oxygen is highly electronegative, हमने discuss किया है last class में भी, a highly electronegative atom or a group is never stable when it has a plus charge. So somehow it will try to neutralize that. कैसे करेगा neutralize? It will take this sulfur bond towards SO bond towards oxygen. So we have release of water here. That's it. And then we have this species formed as a plus charge. ठीक है? So this plus will further get neutralized. ये जो oxygen hydrogen का bond है, you can imagine it like this. So this is attached to your sulfur. So this oxygen bond moves in this direction. I'm showing this OH like this. So what you finally get, will get this type of compound. Species S double bond oxygen, S double bond oxygen, and S double bond oxygen. That's your SO3 chemical species. And this is your electrophile. ठीक है, I hope you understood the generation of electrophile. Now question here, how is this electrophile? Electrophile is electron deficient. It's not necessary that it should be a plus charged species, cation. How is it electron deficient? Number one, since it's attached to 3 oxygen molecule atoms, they are highly electronegative. So obviously ये जो electron density है on all the sides, it's towards oxygen. So that makes this electron deficient, number one. Number two, अगर हम इसका resonance structure देख लें, then we can do it like this. So we'll get this type of structure, resonating structure, that is your S. Oxygen gets minus. Then you have a double bond on this side, another double bond on this side. So oxygen is getting here now minus. क्यों? क्योंकि एक बॉन्ड यहाँ चला गया, this is a pi bond. So sulfur is getting plus charge. So in the resonating structure, sulfur has a plus charge. So likely you can make another resonating structure where you can take this here. तो वहाँ पे ऑक्सीजन यहाँ पे होगा, सल्फर विल गेट प्लस चार्ज. यू कैन मेक अनदर रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर जहाँ से आप इस पाई बॉन्ड को यहाँ पे ले जाएंगे, वहाँ पे भी सल्फर विल हैविंग प्लस चार्ज. सो देन वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट इन द रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स वी हैव अ प्लस चार्ज इन द सल्फर, सो दैट आल्सो मीन्स इज इलेक्ट्रोफाइल. ठीक है. सो नाउ वी हैव जनरेटेड इलेक्ट्रोफाइल. देन द नेक्स्ट रिएक्शन इज हाउ it will attack the ring. So let's look at that. So this is our step number 2, attack of electrophile on benzene. So this is our SO3 electrophile. Now all these positions are same, so let us fix this position. This pi bond will move towards this, so it will get a negative charge. So negative charge में this SO3 will come to that side. So we have SO3. Since यहाँ पे जो pi bond है, this pi bond is now, आप इसे ऐसे भी दिखा सकते हैं, pi bond moving towards sulfur. ठीक है. So result is that we'll get SO3 negative. This side will get plus charge. Now इस side के बाद we have alternate single and double bonds. Look at this. Cation, then alternate single bond, then double bond. This is also conjugation. Fine. So इसके लिए that means we have the conjugated structures possible. You can see. लेकिन difference ये है benzene और structure में, the conjugation is between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 carbons. While as in the benzene, there is conjugation between all the 6 carbons. That's why benzene is more stable and this intermediate is less stable. So now to make it stable, what it does, step number 3, removal of hydrogen ion from the base, hydrogen cation. अब ये जो intermediate है, यहाँ से क्या होता है, this H is lost. ये कैसे होगा, you need a base. Now in the medium we have that HSO4 negative present. ठीक है. So now this is a conjugate base of sulfuric acid, so it takes proton from this side. So this bond moves towards this. So what we get, you get this type of structure. ठीक है. Now अब इसमें एक चीज है, there sulfur. So we got the benzene ring now back, highly stable, but sulfur is having, we have SO3 negative here. ठीक है. अब what it does, it takes proton from the hydronium ion which is present in the medium. So it forms SO3H, that is benzene sulfonic acid. This is our final product. Now this is our reaction called as the sulfonation of benzene. I will go one step back and have a quick review of it. Okay. So what we did. So sulfonation means what you do, you introduce that SO3H group in the benzene. वो हम कैसे करते हैं? With the help of H2SO4 and SO3, which is called as oleum. ठीक है. So we also need the temperature at 325 Kelvin. इस केस में electrophile is, जब हम mechanism में देखिए, electrophile is SO3. Now electrophile SO3 is electron deficient. ये कैसे generate होता है? It is generated by the acid-base reaction between two sulfuric acid molecules. One acts as acid, one as a base. यहाँ पे देख लीजिए, यहाँ पे ये वाला जो है donates a proton. यहाँ पे बन गया, now it's HSO4 negative. So this acts as acid, this acts as base. So once this is formed, then यहाँ पे क्या होता है? H2 is removed, then you get this molecule which finally generates the electrophile. It is electron deficient. Why? Because it's attached with 3 strong electronegative oxygen atoms. Number 2, अगर हम इसका resonance देखेंगे, वहाँ से you can also see that sulfur having a plus charge. So that makes it an electrophile. Once the electrophile is generated, then this, ये जो benzene ring है, then the attack of the electrophile on this benzene ring takes place, so it generates this intermediate. Okay. As this is unstable because resonance 5 ही, it's not that unstable. I am comparing its instability with the benzene ring. Okay. So what it does, in presence of base in the step number 3, that is your conjugate base HSO4 negative. ये कहाँ से generate हुआ था? From the sulfuric acid at this step number 1. So यहाँ पे it takes this proton, so it removes this proton, and then finally the resonance, this conjugation becomes back in this, we get a benzene ring back. So now we have more stable compound, but since we have a negative charge here on SO3 negative, so it takes a proton from the hydronium ion जो medium में present है in the form of H3O. So hydronium ion also is unstable, it loses a proton, it forms water, and also we'll get our final compound, that is benzene sulfonic acid. So this is our sulfonation reaction. Okay? So we have discussed now the electrophilic substitution reaction number 1, that's nitration. Number 2, sulfonation. So now we have one more left, that is your halogenation. Okay? So that we'll do in the next class. So अगर आपके पास कोई भी confusion है, कोई भी question है, you can write down in the group, or you can write down the comments also. Okay? So if that question is so long, then we can also make a video on that. It's not a problem. even एक स्टूडेंट ने क्वेश्चंस भी आंसर किए थे लास्ट क्लास में, सो आई आंसर्ड मेनी क्वेश्चंस. उसने और एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था, बट दैट इज नॉट पॉसिबल ऑन द ग्रुप. So I will probably make a video on that and then we'll discuss that. Thank you. So this is all for our today's class.